All right, today we are going to do something a little different. We're going to take one single simple word and just completely pull it apart. And you'll see why, because this isn't just any word. It's a word that shows you a fascinating secret about how language really works, how a small handful of words can be way more powerful than you'd ever expect.
So let me just kick things off with a question for you. Think about it. Could you say everything you need to say, every idea, every feeling, with only 850 words? I mean, that sounds pretty much impossible, right?
Well, believe it or not, that's the whole idea behind this thing called Basic English. It's not just a random collection of words, it's a super carefully chosen set of 850 words that are meant to be this simple but really effective international language. And the secret sauce? It all comes down to how incredibly flexible every single word is.
Okay, so let's put that idea to the test. Our word for today, our case study, is collar. And yep, you guessed it, it's one of those special 850 words. So let's dive in and see what makes it so special. First up, just a quick little note on how it sounds. You know, like a lot of words, it's a little bit different depending on where you are. So in the UK, you're going to hear more of a but over in the US, it's more like collar, a subtle difference for sure. But the sound is one thing. The real magic happens with the meaning, and that's where we're headed next.
All right, let's start on familiar ground. Let's talk about collar as a noun, a word that just names a thing. This is probably the version of collar you think of first.
The most common meaning, of course, is that part of your shirt or your coat that goes right around your neck. Super simple, right? We all know what this is.
And this example sentence just paints the perfect picture, doesn't it? He put up his collar because of the cold wind. You can just see it. It's a physical thing doing a physical job, blocking the wind.
Okay, now here's where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. We take that same basic idea, a band that goes around the neck, and we apply it to something totally different. An animal, a dog, a cat. It's the same word, but the whole context is already starting to shift.
And notice this, the function totally changes. In this example, the collar isn't for keeping warm, it's for identification. It has a tag on it. It's about control and ownership. Same word, same basic shape, but the purpose is completely different. And that's our first big clue about how flexible this word is.
So up to now, we've only seen collar as a static thing, but the real power of these 850 words is how they can shapeshift into actions. This is where the language gets really dynamic. So let's switch gears and look at collar as a verb.
This is where the word really starts to show off its versatility. We're moving from what a collar is to what you can do with one.
So the first verb meaning is, well, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect, right? It's the literal action connected to the noun we were just talking about, the simple act of putting a collar on something.
And here it is as a simple command. Collar and leash your dog. It's direct, it's clear, it gets the job done. The action is tied directly to the object. That's what I call efficient communication. Okay, but hold on. That is just the beginning. What if I told you that this simple, everyday word has a much more dramatic, high-stakes meaning hiding inside it? This is where the real power of collar is. Get this. In law enforcement slang, when you collar someone, it means you arrest them. You catch them. You take them into custody. I mean, just think about that incredible leap in meaning for a second. We went from putting a piece of fabric on a pet to taking away a person's freedom, all with the very same word. This is what makes it so powerful. The police collared the burglar. That word choice paints a picture, doesn't it? It has this energy. It suggests a chase, maybe even a struggle, the physical act of grabbing someone by their own collar. It is so much more vivid than just saying arrested.
So let's zoom back out. We've gone from shirts to dogs to catching criminals. What does this whole journey tell us about one little word? I mean, why does this even matter?
It is pretty amazing when you lay it all out like this. One single word. Collar. And it's doing the work of 4 totally different ideas. It's a piece of clothing. It's a pet accessory. It's a simple action, and it's a dramatic arrest. That is some serious heavy lifting for such a small word.
And that brings us right back to those 850 words. Here's the real takeaway. That list isn't about being simplistic. It's about being incredibly efficient. Each word is like a Swiss Army knife. It can adapt to whatever context you put it in to create a huge range of meaning. Basic doesn't mean weak. It means it's a powerhouse.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. The next time you use a word you think is simple, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what other jobs could this word be doing? What other ideas is it unlocking? Because there is a whole world of power and meaning hiding in plain sight in the words you use every single day.